So the first question is, how did you find a balance between sharing personal and business on socials? If I had $1 for every time I've been asked this question, but I know that it's probably top of mind, and I'm answering your questions all about Instagram in this video. So the way that I approach finding balance here is, number one, it's always quality over quantity. So I never post just to post. I do post when I think that it's going to actually provide value in some way, shape, or form for my audience. And value can look like education, motivation, or inspiration, right? So if I am going to share something, I'm going to make sure that it hits one of those pillars. But truthfully, when it comes down to it, I'm probably posting like a 3-to-1 ratio of business to personal. So 3 business posts for every 1 personal. Sometimes that goes a little the other way. Depends on what's going on in my life, but I do make sure that I am including a lot of that personal content in, because at the end of the day, this is a relationship business, and relationships are built on real people and real connection, and so you gotta have a little bit of that in there too. When I'm deciding what kind of personal content to post, I'm kind of just imagining myself having a conversation with a referral partner or somebody trusted in my database, and thinking about what we would discuss if we were out at coffee. And if what I'm talking to that person about like belongs in that conversation, in that setting, it's probably okay for social media too. And hey, by the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Stefanie Lugo, and I am obsessed with helping real estate agents transform their lives and business. And if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon to be notified every time I'm dropping new videos like this. Okay, this next question I got on the stories for questions for Instagram for real estate was, how often do you recommend posting reels? This is super simple. I think that a minimum of 1 time a week, you should definitely be posting reels, but I'm shooting for more. I would love to be the person who's shooting 2 to 3 reels per week on Instagram. The more, the merrier. If you ask Instagram, they say that you should be posting 4 to 7 reels a week on top of your regular feed posts. That to me is a little much, it's a little ambitious, because at the end of the day, Instagram's not my job, real estate's my job, and so you gotta find balance somewhere. But I think a good goal is 1 minimum per week on top of your other feed posts. So the next question that I got for Instagram for real estate is, where do you get your ideas for content? Do you look through others' pages to get ideas on what to post? I'm gonna be real with you right now. I'm a big fan of swipe and adapt. This does not mean copy someone's post word for word and including the pose of the photo that they used. But I think that swipe and adapt has a play in most social media marketing plans. And so a lot of times, here's like 3 ways to come up with great post ideas. If you're doing this regularly, you will never run out of ideas to post. So the first thing that I might do is look back on my feed a couple months and recreate something that worked well. So if I know that there's a post that really worked well, not necessarily the post that got the most likes, but if I know there's a post that resulted in an inquiry from a potential client, I'm gonna recreate that post a couple of times over the next year. And I'm obviously gonna change it up in a little bit, maybe change the context, but I'm gonna figure out what about that post actually resulted in a contact for me and kind of recreate that a couple times, you know? And honestly, you can share the same photo more than once. You can share the same story more than once. Such a small part of your audience is going to see any one piece of content that you ever create that I think that we get so hung up on creating original content that we forget that some of the greatest hits, you know, they can be cycled through a little bit. The second way I might come up with new content is I might look for viral trends, right? So this is really helpful when I'm creating reels. So before I ever create a reel, I'm gonna go into the reel tab, which is the icon directly in the bottom on Instagram. I'm gonna click that, and I'm going to intentionally, really try intentionally, maybe even set a timer on my phone for only 10 minutes and not get sucked into it for 2 hours, but for only 10 minutes, I'm gonna look at what's poppin' on Reels, see what's looking fun, see what's grabbing my eye, and if I notice like a viral music or a viral trend, I might see if I can swipe and adapt that into something that's more relevant for my audience. So for example, if there's like a song that a lot of people are using, I'm going to note that as a piece of content that's going viral. I'm going to copy that music and try to add it to something that's real estate related. And of course, the third thing that I'm doing is I'm really basing content off of my audience. So check out this video here that I posted a couple of weeks ago on a simple hack on how to really magnetize your brand, I'm gonna show you how to do research on your ideal clients so that you never run out of ideas on what to post, which is going to be super relevant for your business. So I hope that you're enjoying this chatty kind of video where I'm going through and just answering some of the questions that I've gotten recently. And one of the ones that I got when I actually asked on the stories for your frequently asked questions on Instagram for real estate is one that I've gotten quite often in the past. And it is, for Instagram, for a new real estate business or new real estate business account, do you recommend deleting old posts as you are trying to rebrand your page? So say you are trying to start anew, you're turning over a new foot with your Instagram account and you're ready to come out as like the new real estate agent in your network, right? You don't have to delete everything from your past. Now, of course, if something is like really scandalous that you posted, maybe like Cabo spring break style, if something like that is on your feed that you think, maybe not great in a business setting, you can archive those. That might be worth doing a quick glance through. But for the most part, if people are putting things on social media these days, they kind of know the rules of what's acceptable and what's not. So I wouldn't worry too much about like removing anything that feels out of place, because guess what? 9 posts from now, all that stuff is old news. So what I would be more concerned about is really spending some time to create 9 to 12 really great posts that's going to be reflective of the brand that you're creating and curating, and begin posting those like a couple times a day even, just to freshen up the feed, so that if anybody brand new does come to your account, the first thing they're going to do is check out your bio, which should be dialed in, right? And then they're gonna scroll down to see a couple of your last posts, get a feel for what it is you're offering, and then from there they'll be able to sum up what your brand is in about the last 9 to 12 posts. So I would be as a consumer, I think I would be more wary of a account on Instagram that only had like 7 posts. So definitely if you have, you know, a good stock of images that you've posted over time, just leave them, they're fine. We're just gonna turn over a leaf and start anew. So I have another question about Reels, and I really think that if you're struggling with Reels, you need to spend some time in the Reels editing app. I get asked quite often, and I guess I'll answer this question first, is Stephanie, what apps are you using to edit your Reels videos for? You guys, I'm not doing anything special. If you know me, you know that I'm going to find the easiest way to get something done. Like, I'm looking for the path of least resistance. I don't have time to be messing around with like video editing apps. And so for the most part, I am shooting all of my Reels videos right within the app. So I'm hitting the little plus sign to add in a new piece of content. I'm hitting Reels, and in there, I'm just gonna shoot all of these with my camera in my hand, selfie mode, and then edit all within the app. So play around with a little bit if you haven't yet. It's actually way easier to maneuver than you may think. But the next question I had was, after you create a reel and post it, how do you position it to look well in the feed? Now, this is a really great question, and this took me a couple of times to actually figure out when Reels were first introduced about a year ago. So my hack to creating a Reel is actually to create the thumbnail first. So what I'm actually doing is I'm going into my stories and I'm going to do a little selfie, and then I'm going to add on the text on top of it. Now, if you want, you can place your phone with a selfie timer on a tripod if you don't want like the whole like arm crook thing. I don't mind it so much. That's what I've been doing and it works for me. And then I'm using text within the stories to add on the title. And I'm going to then save it to my camera. So again, if you're in stories while you're doing this, you can actually hit the little save icon at the top. It's an arrow pointing down. That's gonna save that stories image to your camera roll so that then you can upload it to Reels later. So we've created our thumbnail. Again, if you want to create one in Canva, that's fine, you can do that. Or if you just want to use an image that you would like to post on and keep it on your feed, you can do that as well. But what you're going to do is, once you've selected your thumbnail cover, you're then going to create your reel. So I'm just going to do one just for the example. So in this example, I'm right within the Reels editing app and I'm creating a quick reel. So that's going to be the first little clip that you're going to have. Maybe you add in a couple of video clips here. You're going to then hit preview. And when you hit share to, this is when you're going to format your reel and get it ready to post. So you're gonna add in your caption. On the little thumbnail, you're gonna hit cover and click that little button at the bottom that says add to camera roll, and that's where you're gonna upload that thumbnail. And then what you wanna do after you're all ready, you want to make sure that it's also going to share to feed, so have that little toggle on, and you're going to select crop profile image. And the real question that was asked here is, how do you make sure that once it's to the feed, it is centered? How do you adjust it so it still looks good in the feed? Well, this is how. You're just gonna put your finger on that picture and drag it until it's centered how you like it. How wonderful is that? So when I'm creating reels, I am kind of keeping it in my mind to where I need to give myself enough space on the top and bottom of the recording to add any text so that it's not cut off by the actual reel platform. And then I want to make sure that I'm also leaving enough space to allow for that center crop. So when I'm making the thumbnail in Canva or in the stories, I'm gonna kind of in my mind have those little guide rails so that I know that when I actually upload it to adjust it for the feed, it's going to be perfectly centered. And it's kind of a pain in the butt because you have to do all that work before you even create your reel. And by the way, the same thing goes for if you're going live on Instagram Live and then you're saving that broadcast as an IGT episode. Exact same thing, exact same principles apply. You gotta do a little bit of that legwork up front before you're ready to publish it, but it's worth it because then it's on your feed forever and it looks great. And finally, we're going to end with this question, which I actually did get a couple of times when I asked for these questions from you guys on Instagram at Bryce and Stefanie on the stories. What type of content should new realtors be posting to both the feed and stories? Well, it's really up to you, right? You want to kind of come up with a couple of categories of things that you can post about. In the Market Authority Academy, I'm working with brand new agents and helping them understand how to create a marketing plan that's going to cover all of these different posting topics and really come up with a bank of content that they can create over time so they never run out of ideas. But the short answer is one of the things that you should be doing for sure is documenting your journey. So, you know, sharing a little bit about your journey in real estate. If you have some fails, if you have some struggles, if you have some really exciting wins, all that probably belongs on Instagram, as long as, I mean, you know, you have your comfort zone with what you want to share and what you don't, but you could probably share a little more of that than you might think is appropriate. The other thing that you'd really want to be documenting is your origin story. So why you decided to get into real estate and what it is you're hoping to achieve. You want to be sharing who it is you're helping. So really creating value-driven content for your ideal clients. And of course, showcasing your market area. So what you love about the place that you sell. Because remember, we're really not selling homes, we're selling a lifestyle. And the surrounding area and things to do, things that makes where you live special, really belongs on your feed too, in order to create that show of being an authority in your market. But again, if you need help with anything that we've covered here, you may want to check out the Market Authority Academy, particularly you as a new agent. So if you are on the fence about how to really go all in on Instagram and embracing modern organic social media strategies, the Market Authority Academy might be right for you. All the links are below. You can book a time to chat with me where you and I will discuss if working together is a good fit. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted your questions to me about Instagram for real estate. I really hope that you found this helpful. I thought it was really fun to have kind of a chatty video where I'm just giving you my raw, honest answers on the really great questions that you guys have about Instagram. So hope you found it helpful too. And of course, if you want to see how I'm doing it on the day-to-day, be sure to follow me at Bryce and Stefanie. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell notification icon as well, which will notify you every time I'm dropping new videos just like this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, keep on crushing it.